I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Hey, good morning. Long time no see. For those of you that hung out with us at midnight, we've replaced Trevor with a newer model. Welcome to March Madness. Obviously, very fun time of year. As far as betting, be careful. I mean, there's a lot of sharp college basketball groups that won't even bet March Madness, that they say their edges are dried up. And obviously, I'm not part of a sharp college basketball syndicate or anything. But from what I've heard, that a lot of these like big time groups placing six figures aren't even betting March Madness. So it's a bit of a crapshoot. So let's just have fun. Rather than throw down a shitload of money. For example, I have a 12-pick round robin with 14 legs to pay $723,000 today, which is basically a lock. No, that's kind of tradition. I've done that since when I was gambling as a teenager. Put a parlay or a round robin down of all the first day money line winners. Just a terrible EV bet, but it's fun. And at Toast, if you remember, I made it to the 14th game. Do you remember 2 years ago when I had Richmond over Kentucky?
I do, actually.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know the detail. I don't remember the details of it. But
it was on that first day where it was the first day. This day, 2 seasons ago, or it might have been 3. I think it was 2 seasons ago. I had Richmond over Kentucky, 14-3, and then we got to the 14th game of 16. And I was perfect, and I had parlayed them all. It was like the $20 to win like $400,000 or something. And then obviously one of them lost, and then my bracket was completely busted the next day, as it goes. So I ran a pre-show poll. Which one of us, who will have the best record against the spread today? 29% of you said Sauce. 18% said Toast. 18% said Scoop. And the winner, 36%, was Scoop's mom.
Oh, that's over 50% for the household. So
that's true.
Scoop,
and that he also just let us all know that he still lives with his mother. Let's keep going.
I do not.
I would hope not, Scoop. You have like 16 kids.
I was gonna say
not as many kids as Toast, but
yeah.
No, you have the same amount.
30, let me know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys have the same amount of kids.
That's correct.
Okay. I don't know. I think he has more.
I'm not good with like the
3 that I know about.
I'm not good with like the newsletters. Like some of my closest friends, they'll be like, yeah. And then my youngest, you got 2? Like my best friend from high school.
I don't. I wouldn't expect you or anybody else to either. I don't pay attention to anything like that. I'm so bad with that. That's why I have no friends.
Yeah, amen. So we're tipping off in an hour and 12 minutes. You guys know what me and Toast are on. It's now
I just made a new bet.
A new bet. Is it Creighton?
Yeah.
Hey, Toast is on the Bluebirds here. Go ahead.
Honestly, just kind of waiting. Again, we're kind of having fun here today. I think that if you're watching this show, I don't think I have a hard time believing this is the first time you've watched college basketball. So I don't think we need to go into the nitty gritty as far as who's going to win and whatnot. But for me, I don't love this Creighton team at all in any way, shape, or form, but they are really big, that they can match up well with Louisville. They don't really rely on the 3-ball, which I think is a positive thing, because Louisville is one of those teams that kind of likes their offense gets a lot of credit, but they're really kind of bad shooting the 3-ball. And if this game is going to be played in the half court, not shooting a whole bunch of 3-balls, I do think that Creighton can stay in this game. But more importantly, I just don't know. I don't know if I've seen 5 Creighton tickets in the last 2 weeks. So it's all Louisville. So yeah, I was waiting to see if this line would do anything. It didn't move for days. And then I woke up this morning and got a 3.5. So I just, I jumped on it a little bit. So Creighton plus 3.5, minus 115, kind of more of a fade against the world, I guess you can see.
Yeah. Scoop, will you also be quote unquote fading the world with Creighton?
No, Louisville. I think they got screwed on the seeding. If you're telling me Louisville's an 8 seed, I don't know how North Carolina's even in this tournament, but whatever.
Gonzaga should be a 1 seed then.
Yeah, Louisville's playing great basketball. They have all year. I think they match up well to Creighton. They did win 11 in a row before that Duke game. I know Kalkbrenner's great down low. Louisville's not, but I like Pat Kelsey. I feel like this team's going to be slighted by their seeding. You just saw it with Carolina. Edwards and Hepburns are two of the best guard combos in the country. They're great. Their guard, I mean, pretty much they're a guard-heavy lineup as is, but they're still out-rebounding a lot of these teams. I just feel like the backcourt is going to be too much for Creighton to defend on both sides. Hepburn was the best defensive guard in the ACC this year. If they get inside, Louisville prevents free throws better than almost anyone nationally. They have a top 30 defensive free throw rate. Javon Hadley, James Scott should cause enough problems for Kalkbrenner, and though Kalkbrenner is good defensively, he doesn't have much help. Louisville ranked 4th in 2-point defensive, 2-point percentage in the country on defense. Blue Jays struggled to win the turnover battle most games. I get Louisville hasn't played a difficult schedule, but I don't think Creighton really has either. They're 47th and 54th in terms of strength of schedule. So I got this at 1.5 when it opened for Louisville. Yeah, I think Louisville can close this out, though.
Yeah, Louisville up. Yeah, we could talk about the quote-unquote fading the public, but Louisville's a much better team. McIver's with you, though, Toast. He likes to pick. Miranda says Louisville via blowout, and I agree.
And this is 3 now.
And it's 3 now.
Trevor's pissed off this morning because he woke up to Trent nuking Louisville. He's pissed.
I thought Trent hit sometimes.
I know, but that American game yesterday sucked, man. Like that, they lost their best player in the first 3 minutes. So
now the Trent tweet that was funny today was he sent out a parlay. Was all 4 1 seeds to cover.
Also, I only think he was hot, and then I think he was cold. Not that it matters, but yeah, I thought that was funny, just because Trevor was absolutely pissed off about that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
High Point, Purdue. Purdue is my national champion. They're the best team in the tournament, the most complete team in the tournament. And everyone's sleeping on them.
Most complete.
No, no one wants to pick Purdue, which is why you pick Purdue here. I'm not talking about this game. I'm saying no one expects much from Purdue. We're just going to ignore the fact that this basketball program is just dripping with prowess. They've got the experienced guard that protects the ball, high basketball IQ. They've got the crazy athletic wing that can finish. He can get to the free throw line. This Purdue team, top to bottom, complete. Like I said, most complete. I just look at Purdue and what I think is complete. Right, Scoop?
Yeah, when you think of Purdue, you think complete.
So, do you think Purdue's Scoop? Do you think Purdue's complete enough to cover 8?
I do not. I am on High Point. I said Purdue were frauds a few weeks ago. This is a popular public upset. I know. I'm going to join the public. Let's go, world. High Point brings it every game. I know Toast was cashing first half spreads to start the season with High Point at a pretty high rate. One thing concerns me is Matt Painter, I think, is one of the best against the spread records in the first round games. But Purdue is not this team from last year. They don't have an interior presence, and when their shots aren't falling, they don't have anything to really rely on. After Smith, Lawyer, and Kaufman-Renn, there's a huge drop-off. There's no 4th or 5th option. There's really no bench. High Point is one of the highest-scoring teams in college ball. I get their conference is what it is. But they did beat North Texas, UAB, American at a conference. I know it's not anything close to the Big Ten, but team's on a 14-game winning streak. Purdue lost 6 of their last 9. Size is an issue. That has been all year. They may be good offensively when the shots hit, but they're still down to 63rd in defensive efficiency. They dropped from 10th nationally in rebounding to 315th this year without Edey. And really with High Point, they have a deep roster. The whole starting 5 is able to put up points. Purdue's obviously more talented, as Kyle says, very complete. And High Point hasn't been tested defensively, so it's a big step up. But with the amount of points that High Point can score, I think they'll be able to stay close in this game till the end. I think Toast is on High Point too. He got a better number though.
So wait, real quick. Someone in the comments says Sauce knows that Edey isn't on the team anymore. He's not? No, I'm joking. Of course. I've moved on. We don't need Edey. We need
NBA.
Toast. Who's the guy I like on there? His name's TP.
Trey Kaufman-Renn.
What's Kaufman-Renn? TKR.
TKR.
Yeah. Google TKR Purdue if you want to know why I'm that. If you want to see completion, Google TKR from Purdue. Go ahead, Toast. Make your shitty pick.
He's also TKR has actually been on fire the last
he's the man. I'm not just saying that to be funny. Like he's good as shit. And that point guard, I really do like the team. This isn't a bit. They have the experienced point guard who can hit shots. Also, he can get into I like when he gets into the paint. He's got great footwork, kind of like Jalen Brunson type footwork. He makes the right decision. I really do like the team. It's not a bit.
No, I agree. I don't think it's crazy. I wish that the guard you're talking about is Braden Smith. I wish that he had a little bit more scoring to his game, but I'm not arguing.
He can hit those little TJ McConnell 12-footers.
Yeah, he can, but he also kind of falls on the wayside at some games too. So he either looks really, really good or he just kind of blends in with everybody. But I'm not arguing with you.
Wasn't it you that said you want the experienced guard play in March Madness? And you're fading Braden Smith, who is exactly everything you just said you want.
I'm getting 10 points. It's not like Purdue can't win the game comfortably. I'm just getting 10 points with a team in High Point that's essentially like we've talked about playing their Super Bowl, a Purdue team that's defensively okay guarding the three, but that's not really where High Point's going to kill you. High Point's a top 15 offense inside the arc, and Purdue ranks in like the 350s as far as defending it. So not to mention the fact that High Point is usually when you get these low mid-major teams that come up and play these big teams like Purdue, there's usually a huge height advantage. Purdue's not going to have that. High Point's huge. 6'2", 6'8", Demarion Williams 6'3". I mean, all these guys are really, really big. So I just have a hard time believing that Purdue just blows this team out just because of how good High Point is offensively. Defensively, they're nothing spectacular. But again, at the same time, I just don't really put Purdue's offense to the point where like I can't catch 10 points with them. So I would still play Purdue or High Point at 8. If you're worried about that, just play the over because I do think that Purdue is going to get theirs as well. I just think I have a hard time believing Purdue wins by 10. So obviously it's 8 now, but still, regardless, High Point for me.
Purdue via dog walk next.
I do agree with you as far as like I think it's going to be Purdue by 20 or they could lose outright. I don't think there's going to be close to it in between. But we'll see. Speaking
of upsets, Wisconsin is not a good basketball team. You've heard me say it time and time again. They're the most. Wisconsin's what you refer to as fool's gold.
Oh yeah,
and everyone loves them. I will be betting Montana outright in this game. So I don't need the points. Taking the money line. You fade fraudulent teams in March, and here we have Wisconsin Exhibit A. Scoop, do you agree?
No, I said it yesterday. I need the Montana guy to tell me I'm wrong.
Kenny Varner?
I lean Wisconsin's side here. It's easy to poke holes in certain things for Wisconsin. Tanji is still one of the best scorers and star of this team. Top 10 shooting percentage in the Big Ten. Really, obviously a dominant player. Talent-wise, this is a huge gap. Montana will struggle to stay in front. I know Montana's a strong offense. They have a top 100 rating, but defensively they still have real issues. 250th in the country. You take it to an effect, Montana really shouldn't be here. Luckiest team in college basketball. According to KenPom, predicted to have 6 more losses than they actually do based on how their efficiency is. And playing Wisconsin, it's going to be tough keeping up no matter what their offensive numbers are. Outside the top 300 in field goal rate, they need to grab boards and play faster if they're going to want to go toe-to-toe with Wisconsin. I actually really like Montana, but Wisconsin should be able to shut down their threes. Montana also lost out of conference to Oregon by 31, Tennessee by 35. The issue with Montana is they're very undersized. Wisconsin is going to easily win a rebounding battle. With Montana's slow pace and bad defense, I don't think they can compete here. So, yeah, I'm on Fraud Constant with the win and the cover.
Someone goes, wait, Saturated said, wait, Kyle, didn't Wisconsin beat the most complete team in the country? They did beat the most
lucky game.
Yeah, I mean, flukes happen. Toast, tell them, Montana.
Over for me. I don't really want nothing to do with this side here, but I do think that Montana can get their points here. I mean, they're a top 10, are nearly a top 15 offense as far as effective field goal percentage. The only issue is that they don't rebound for shit. So, but I do think that Wisconsin's going to get theirs. I think Wisconsin has proved over the course of the year that you can trust them scoring. I know I had a lot of fun with John Tanji in the Big Ten championship game, but I have a hard time believing he goes 0 for 5 from deep and 1 from 9 from the field and only give us 9 points today. If that happens, Wisconsin probably loses this game regardless of Montana's talent. But I think that Wisconsin could probably put up 100, and as long as Montana just keeps on chugging, I think they're going to hit this over 149. So it's 152.5 now. Yeah, it makes me feel even better.
Welcome to the Montana 3-point party today.
Yeah, not to mention Money Williams. His last game against what's their face, Northern Colorado, did not look good. I bet you Money Williams comes back with a vengeance.
Up to 153 on a lot of books.
And yes, that's his real name, by the way. I didn't make that up.
Money Williams?
Oh yeah.
Who is he?
Plays for Montana.
Huh. I got a guy named.
Well, now I'm sold.
I got a guy named Money Williams on my team. Is he the best player?
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Love it.
3-point sniper.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Oh, you know what? What I said last night was over. Because I know Houston's not really known as an offensive team, but they're playing SIU Edwardsville. So I think Houston could score 50 in the first half regardless, take their foot off the pedal when they're up 30. And SIU playing in – they're just happy to be here. So they're going to play hard the entire time, even if they're down 35 points. So I think it gets up over the total. I know everyone's angle here is there's no way Edwardsville scores points on Houston. And I think that's fair until Houston stops giving a fuck and is up a billion points and looking onto the next one. And that's where I think Edwardsville could score. So this is a super low total in a game where I think only half of it is going to be seriously played. That's how I feel.
You can pretty much put the same exact thing for me. There's no way I would lay 28 points with Houston in their first game, and it's really hard to get to SIUE. But I do agree with everything that you said, and that I also have a hard time believing that SIUE quits playing at all either. So I would assume that they're going to be playing down to the wire. This is their first conference game, and I think ever. So yeah, you can put over for me. I didn't play. This is like one of the games I didn't play them.
Someone in the comments says it's not Louisville, it's Louisville. I know. Trust me. I know. They say it wrong, not me.
He also says it Mario. So it just depends on where you live.
Scoop, Edwardsville outright?
No, and I do love Louisville. It's a good
Louisville.
town.
It's Louisville.
Welcome to the tournament.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, dude.
It's Louisville. It's also
It's
Oregon.
Louisville
It's
Sluggers or
Nevada.
Louisville Sluggers?
You're talking about a company.
It's the same thing. They're from. You know
Bro.
what? Never mind.
I guarantee you, ask somebody from Kentucky, they'll say it's Louisville. That's how they say it. All right,
Can't wait to talk about Oregon.
Go, Scoop.
First tournament going against a Houston defense, 28.5-point dogs. There's a reason Houston's a 1 seed. Houston has against a spread record of 4-1 when playing as 28.5-point favorites this season. I feel like everyone's down on Houston. Easiest 1 seed to beat. This team is still awesome. They're 26-1 the last 27 games. It just ran through the Big 12 tournament. And really, this offense has improved over last year's number 1 defense. Last year they were number 1 defense. They didn't have a great offense. They're even better than this year. Defense is obviously number 1 or number 2 now in the country, 2 years in a row. This time with Cryer, Sharp. This team shooting 40% from 3. They have the highest field goal rate in the country. So if you think SIU Edwardsville is going to compete, I would just ask where, really. Houston's going to dominate with their defense. They're also a top 30 team in offensive boards. They'll get their second chance points. Plus, this team has grit. What do you say, Kyle? What do they have? Moxie or
Tenacity?
I don't know what it was, but
I have a lot of they
don't have heart.
We're gonna go through all the words.
Yo,
I don't know what it was.
just so you guys know something about me, when you hear me throwing words out like that, that means I don't know shit about the team, and they got tenacity.
Grit, tenacity. I don't know. I forget. SIUE has a good defense. They did great in the Ohio Valley regular season. It's how they won their conference tournament. They're 40th in defensive effective field goal percentage. The problem is that their strength of schedule is the 6th worst in all of college basketball. They're going to struggle on both ends here. I think Houston wins by 40.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would lean that way as well, Scoop. But yeah, if you guys ever hear me going on a rant about grit, tenacity, explosiveness, camaraderie, that means I don't know shit about what I'm betting on. That's what that means. All right. Alabama State. This is a gritty team. I'm just kidding.
So feisty, these guys.
All right, so this line is 32.5. I don't think we've talked about these games a few times. I've watched a couple other channels. I don't think I've heard somebody that has a strong opinion about this game yet. Everyone's kind of got the same attitude, like whatever. I haven't heard in the Houston Edwardsville. I have heard people like speak strongly about the game, whether it's Edwardsville first half team total under. I've heard people talk about angles they've liked. I haven't heard a single person talk about something they legitimately like in this game in terms of betting. So I got nothing.
You can put up Alabama State for me. I'm not going to bet it. I don't know how long. I think this is like possibly a situation where just Auburn's kind of just playing with their food at the last 10, 15 minutes of this basketball game. So again, this is just a pure lean to me. I just don't really want to lay 32 points with Auburn in the first game of this tournament. They are losing 3 or 4, so maybe maybe there's an angle that they want to get right here today. But again, that's a lot of points for a tournament game. I also have a hard time believing if they're up 25 with 7 minutes to go or whatever, they're just going to continue to pound it and try to score. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, 32.5 points is a ton. It's just, remember, it's college basketball. There's only 40 minutes. So it's equivalent to like 39 in an NBA game. This is truly crazy. So, I mean, I guess I'll put up Alabama State too, just because this number is – and, I mean, at what point in the game – it's kind of like in college football when Ohio State's laying 54. It's like – at what point in the game are they just like looking on to the next one? Yeah. Is Auburn up 36 points with 8 minutes to go? Do they have their pedal to the floor? Like, what are they doing in that situation? So this is practical joke huge. This number here.
Scoop? I would honestly say, sorry, Scoop, to interrupt you, but just really quickly, I would honestly say like Auburn first half team total or something over would probably be like my favorite, just because you know that you're going to get an engaged Auburn team for the first half of this game. So go ahead, Scoop. Sorry.
Yeah, a fun game to be here for Alabama State. 32 points. I mean, this team is gutsy, determined, but 32.5. I know people are concerned about Auburn. They lost 3 or 4 down the stretch, haven't looked great. Not sure if, really what their thing is. I don't know if they were coasting towards the end there or there's actual concern there, but I did say this team is
conference in the country. So
yeah, I did say they're the best team in the country. Either way, Auburn had the toughest strength of schedule in the country. I mean, I know rebounding is an issue for Auburn, but this game I don't want to take a side like you guys. I would lean, I guess, Auburn's way laying to 32, but obviously you're kind of worried that they'll just take their foot off the gas and stop playing tough defense, which is understandable. But no, I'm good with this one. They'll move on to Creighton or Louisville and take their energy there. So.
Someone said, "Where's Trevor?" He would have an opinion on Alabama State. Well, he's in the comments, number one. And no, Trevor included. He didn't even really feel – he said Alabama State team total under or pass. He didn't really feel strongly about it either. That's what I'm saying. Even like the college basketball freaks that I know, Trevor, they didn't really feel strongly about the game either.
It's 10 a.m.
Trevor's drunk already at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say it's 10 a.m. Thursday of the first game of the tournament. Trevor's at the bar right now. Probably has the remote in hand.
He told me he got to the bar 22 minutes ago, according to what he said. So Trevor's going to be blasted all day. That's why we won't see Trevor on for the next 72 hours because he's spending – I'm not kidding. He's spending the whole time at the bar. He's going to be at the bar for the whole games, go home, sleep, and then go back to the bar. They let him have the remote, I heard.
Yeah, he controls the TVs.
Yeah, he gets the remote. So McNeese, Clemson. Everyone loves McNeese, man.
I think the people that are around you love McNeese. I don't know about everybody. I see a lot of Clemson love out there.
Toast and Scoop, you're both on McNeese, right?
Yeah, I'm on McNeese.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scoop.
Yeah, I mean, McNeese was a popular pick in last year's tournament. I'm grabbing them here, though. Clemson's let me down. Chase Hunter's been here before. I know. He's old. I said it yesterday. No, he has been their best player for sure. Maybe his brother does matter. I mean, they were 8-0 when he was on the court as a starter. I said it didn't matter at all, and then they got beat by Louisville. They didn't light up the score, but obviously he meshed well with the team. I mean, Del Jones didn't look good as a replacement for him. Neither did Highbretter. They really didn't have a fifth starter. So really, besides Chase Hunter, he doesn't have much help in terms of someone taking over the game. Schifflin is a great rebounder, and some of his games are concerning. They have non-conference losses to Boise, Memphis, South Carolina, and they struggle on both sides of the floor in those games. McNeese is going to take it to the rim constantly. They're a top 70 in offense and defense this season. McNeese had an 8-point loss to Bama, 3-point loss to Mississippi State out of conference. They were tested. They didn't lose any game this season by double digits. I don't see this being the same team as last year's tournament when they got blitzed by Gonzaga. They were a worse defensive team then, and Clemson doesn't have near the offense as Gonzaga did last year. So McNeese, this year has a better defense, better field goal percentage on defense. They cause more turnovers per game. They press the perimeter. I really do like McNeese here. And like I said yesterday, McNeese is a Clemson alum, so it's time to prove your worth against your alumni there.
Wags is saying that Trevor's on them ultras. Dude, I think
Michelob's?
I was watching their show, and they did a thing like, what's your favorite beer? And they said Keystone Light. Not bullshitting you. They said that. That's, whoa. I don't know.
I haven't had a Keystone Light in probably like, Jesus. Remember when they used to make the 30 bombs?
We should play Flip Cup while we're at it.
Yeah. That's the last time I drank a Keystone Light, playing games like that.
Man.
Actually, I think we had Keystone Light when we had that party for the Jaguars game or whatever it was.
Was there Keystone Light there? I don't know.
I'm almost 40. It's probably been 20 years since I've had a Keystone Light.
All right, Toast. McNeese, you agree with Scoop's rant?
Yeah, I do. It's not even like necessarily like a fade of Clemson themselves. I do think that Clemson played pretty decent this year, losing to Georgia Tech in 3 overtimes and then losing to Louisville. They're only 2 losses in the last 2.5 months. Or matter of fact, 3 months if you go back and say Louisville as well. So in that loss, so not to mention 3 of their last 4 losses, not including that tournament, were all in overtime as well. So again, it's just really hard to beat Clemson by margin. But at the same time, with those overtime games, they do play a lot of close games because I don't really trust their offense. And I trust the offense of McNeese State. I know that they haven't played the competition that Clemson has played. I get all that. But they also have some really good players like Hudar Copeland and Javon Garcia and whatnot. And I also think there's a lot of people talking about McNeese and Will Wade taking the NC State job and all that stuff. But at the same time, like I agree with Trevor and Moneyline Mac. Like, I don't really put too much into that. I would agree that a lot of these kids probably want to go from McNeese to NC State. So if they have time left in college basketball, they're going to want to play well. And another thing is that one thing that Clemson usually has had an advantage on, where most people this year is their experience. They're one of the most experienced teams in college basketball. That definitely plays in a tournament like this, but McNeese has a coach in Will Wade that knows what he's doing and one of the most experienced rosters himself. So unless they just get absolutely shredded on the boards or just can't hit their free throws, I have a hard time believing that Clemson wins this game by multiple possessions. So Clemson might win, but I feel like it's going to be like more of a 3 to 5 point margin type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say I disagree with you there because I'm not going to bet Clemson minus 7.5. But I would bet Clemson minus 7.5 if I was betting a side.
I will say this is one of those numbers that I'm pretty sure hasn't really moved at all. It's still, I mean, I bet 7.5 probably a week. 4 or 5 days ago or whatever. So take that for whatever you want. I'm just saying this is one of the numbers that hasn't moved.
This next one is a game I will be betting. VCU is the most fake sharp play on the board. Trevor tried telling me VCU is a Final Four team. What? Bro, that's a clear cut.
Who else is in their bracket?
That's a clear cut case. I think Duke's in their bracket. That's a clear cut case of being too close to it. BYU is the better team, and we're getting under a possession. We're not overthinking this one. VCU is adorable for a mid major. This is the big dogs. This is BYU. BYU by at least 10.
I think the Atlantic 10 is like 3/4 of a major.
No, mid.
I'm going VCU. I'm going back-to-back. BYU out in the tournament. Lost to the Dukes last year. This time VCU is going to knock them off. BYU relies on their shooting. They have great 3-point shooters. Exciting whites. They have a great bench. I know VCU's backcourt has struggled down the stretch, but VCU's defense is so much better than BYU's. Even though Shulga hasn't been great, the defense has been awesome. On the inside as well, they're top 10 in block shots. BYU is a more perimeter team, but VCU also does a fine job containing. You can't really go inside, as we saw against George Mason. VCU is 8th in defensive field goal percentage in the country, 1st in effective field goal percentage on defense, even better than a Houston team where BYU struggled to find their shot. Wings, Jackson, I forgot the other guy. Bamasil. They should be able to get their boards, limit second chances. Just really like this VCU team defensively. They pressure the ball. Top 30 in steals, top 30 in three-point defense. I think they'll be able to stay in this game. I know the downside is VCU's offense. They rely on a three-point shot that they're not really great at. And BYU obviously had a significantly tougher schedule. I thought, Kyle talked shit about the Atlantic 10. It definitely is not the Big 12, but line is very low. I got this at 3.5. I think it was down to like 1.5 now. But as long as it's above a possession, I was grabbing VCU. I have them at 3.5. 2.5 is but I still think VCU kind of wins out right at the end.
Toast is on the same thing.
Yeah, I just think that, and this has kind of been regurgitated a lot, but if there's one thing that we know about VCU is that they have a lot of integrity trying to defend that 3-point line, and that's kind of a place where BYU has a lot of success. But I think Trevor put it kind of best when he said that VCU is like a Timu version of Houston, and if there's one thing or one type of team that BYU struggled with this year, it is definitely Houston getting blown out in both those games. So BYU is one of those teams that shoots 37% from deep. VCU's opponents this year are shooting like 19% from deep, or like less than 29% from deep. So a big difference in that. So I just think this is a really good spot for VCU. This is like one of the best matchups they could possibly have. If BYU's hot from deep all day, so be it. But I think that VCU wins this basketball game.
Wrong. BYU lost to the Duquesne last year in this very spot. You guys are crazy to think if that happens again.
I mean,
speaking of crazy, Toast has Gonzaga beating Houston.
Yeah, I do.
My wife has Gonzaga versus North Carolina in the final, so
I filled out a bracket for her.
Oh, she based her bracket off vibes though, so you know.
A vibe bracket.
Right. So it'll beat me basically in the.
Well, yeah, my mom fills her bracket out, takes all the Catholic teams like the St. Mary Saint.
Makes sense. I mean, and she'll definitely be in the 25th percentile.
Yeah, she'll probably beat me. All right, Toast. Do your fucking.
I don't need to go.
Thing.
I don't need to do my thing. Let's hear it from somebody who's not jaded.
Let's hear from Scoop, because we've heard. If you want to hear Toast's stupid ass rant, just go watch the.
I didn't even rant.
I hate to take Toast team here, but I'm on Gonzaga as well.
Gonzaga.
Don't start. I can't call him Gonzaga. I gotta call him Gonzaga. If I'm taking a team, I'm calling him Gonzaga. I get that Georgia's been great defensively. They had a nice run all year, and I know 8-9 matchups are always tough to predict, but I think it's hard to go against the Zags offense, averaging 86 points a game. It's a defense that's been an issue for the Zogs. Georgia's not an offensive team. They're not going to hang 75 plus here, and really there's something to be said about experience in the NCAA tournament. Gonzaga has a bunch of seniors. Hickman, Nemhard, Ike, they're all here. They were all here before. Georgia's team is due to their freshmen. Newell's obviously their best player for Georgia, but really he's the only scorer you can count on. There'll be a lottery pick in the draft. I think Ike actually matches up fairly well against him. Besides him, Damari's fine as a shooter, but other than those two, it's hard to see where the points are going to come from. I know Gonzaga also led the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio. All 5 of their starters are averaging double digits. There's a reason Georgia's 6.5-point underdogs. You saw with Florida against Tennessee, a great offense can still score against a great defense. Georgia's defense is good, but it's not St. Mary's good, a team that Gonzaga just knocked off in the finals. So, yeah, I'm grabbing the Zogs. It's unfortunate, but go Zogs.
Gonzaga is going down. Andy said the Bulldogs would be here, and I'm turning my back on.
I know it's the Andy factor though. So now,
dude, this sucks, dude. Just like this was like the worst possible situation. As soon as I saw it, it happened. But the only thing I'll add, I'll just go really quickly. I think the turnovers are going to be an issue. Georgia really has a struggle turning over the ball. And I think Scoop mentioned that with Gonzaga and their assist-to-turnover ratio. Gonzaga just doesn't turn the ball over. That's just not what they do. Ryan Nemhard is one of the best point guards in the country. And if there's one team that knows Asa Newell better than anybody else, it's Gonzaga, because they recruited him just as much as Georgia did. They barely lost out on him. Not to mention the fact that you have the trio of Graham Ike, Braden Huff, and Ben Gregg, all those guys 6'10" or bigger that can all put a body on Asa Newell as well. So I just think that the guard play and the fact that Gonzaga has multiple bigs to match up with Newell kind of negates his scoring opportunities. And I think Gonzaga wins this game by 10 plus and gets ready for Houston.
You can't lay more than 2 possessions with a Gonzaga team that doesn't play defense.
I'm just saying, if you're calling them Gonzaga and then still calling them the Zags, I mean, you got serious.
No, I call them the Zogs.
I know you're joking. I'm just saying, for everybody out there in the public, it's not the Zogs, like Scoop says. It's the Zags, because it's Gonzaga.
In all seriousness, growing up, I always thought it was Gonzaga.
Well, it's because I don't think anyone heard of Gonzaga before they got good.
Yeah, but they've been good for a while.
5 years ago.
I was going to say, they've been good for a while, Scoop.
I was alive. I'm 40.
Adam Morrison, heard of him?
Well, almost.
What's Adam Morrison doing now? Selling life insurance?
Wasn't he? I thought he was like
No,
broadcasting somewhere.
dude. He has a podcast. He does their radio calls. I think he's the assistant coach at Meade, where he went to school. His daughter's going to be going there.
All right, we get it. He's the coolest guy ever. Wofford, Tennessee.
You asked.
Fuck. We get it. He's amazing.
So,
do you like the too many points for the Vols or no?
Yeah, I like the Vols. Wofford's offense is great. Not going to take away anything from their season, but I don't see how they're going to punch Tennessee in the mouth or anything here. With the tempo they play, I don't see how they're going to cover this number. Tennessee just beat Auburn and then lost to Florida in a championship game. 2 1 seeds in the tournament. I don't see Wofford as a Cinderella 15. There's better options there if you wanted to take one. Tennessee usually slows the game down to nothing, but Wofford already played that way in the first place. The issue is getting shots up. Tennessee's defense in March and some of February is taking a step back. They weren't in the top 25 actually in defense, but it's also with the teams that they played. Don't forget that Wofford also lost by 50 to Duke this season. Opponents have shot 27% from deep against the Vols. That's significant because Wofford earns 39% of its points from downtown this season. They're not going to have an offense that's going to compete with Tennessee. I know it's a Rick Barnes team. You can kind of feel an upset anytime someone plays them in the tournament, but I think this is a total mismatch. Not to mention Wofford's defense overall is bad, so I think Chaz Lanier can get going. I will take Tennessee in this one.
I'm putting Tennessee up, but I don't feel strongly enough to even spend 4 seconds talking about it. Toast.
Tennessee, I like the over if I had to play one. I don't really have a good indication on the side here. I wish that I could get there with Wofford, but they haven't. And again, obviously these teams makes sense, but Wofford hasn't seen a defense like Tennessee. And I usually don't put too much stock into that. But when you have a team in Tennessee that's like essentially a top 5 defensive team, and all the teams that Wofford has been playing is in the deep 200s, besides like East Tennessee State is like the only team that's even remotely close to a somewhat respectable defense, that it's just really hard for me to think they're going to get going here. So I do think that Tennessee, with Rick Barnes and all the bullshit behind him, I have a hard time believing they're not engaged here. So I expect Tennessee to score some points, and if Wofford keeps on fighting, they'll probably get some points too. So over for me, but this is like one of the one games I don't love.
Next, Arkansas, Kansas.
I took Arkansas. I know everybody's on Arkansas. I think these are 2 pretty bad teams, to be honest. Kansas, at least the Kansas' standards, are a bad team, and Arkansas figured kind of to be what they are. Kansas, well, preseason number 1, they're just playing poor basketball all around, and it's weird because these players on paper should be doing much better than they actually are, but offensively, they're not even a top 50 offense down the stretch. The month of February and March have just been bad. I know Bill Self is a great coach. It's hard to bet against him come tournament time, but Calipari has always obviously been here a ton before. It's not really the coach Kansas needs to see in the first round. I think Dickinson's going to have problems this game personally. He's kind of soft in general, but Ivicic is a monster. He's going to out-rebound you. He's tough. He can shoot inside and out and plays awesome defense. Not to mention, Kansas just doesn't create fouls. They rarely draw contact. They're a soft team. They're 355th in free throw rate, one of the worst in the country. Both of these teams are a defensive team. Their offenses aren't really clicking that well, but the biggest thing here, I don't know if that helps at all, but Boogie Flan's back. They learned how to play well without him, but he's a huge piece of their team, like it or not. Especially with their shooting, it's going to help a bit. It should. Kansas' team just isn't gelling right now. They don't play well together. I'm going to take Arkansas. There's just no part of me that really wants to bet on Kansas right now.
This is a must-play spot for the Hogs. Trevor and other people have said Boogie Flan returning to the lineup is a negative. That's some crazy talk.
Well, when you add that with Thero being out, that's the negative, because you take away Thero, who was like your go-getter guy that you can trust, and now you put in Boogie Flan, who's a flake freshman that you can't trust.
All right, take Kansas.
I did Kansas for me. I just feel like I don't really have like a strong conviction of this, but this is a Kansas team that is coached by Bill Self, a team that I trust, and they're the most experienced team in the country, and it's not even close. I mean, you look across their roster, it's Dwan Harris Sr., Zeke Mayo Sr., Ryan Gliffen Jr., KJ Adams Sr., Hunter Dickinson Sr., AJ Storr Jr. I mean, so again, I say what you want to say about Kansas and what they've done over the season, but at the same time, like, you can go through their games and yeah, I mean, they didn't really look good in conference play, but again, I used to say this a lot when we would do the shows, like, how many teams are going to look good when they go on the road in Houston or play Texas Tech or play Utah in Elevation or play Kansas State in the Octagon of Doom or having to go play Auburn or Baylor on the road? Because remember, in the beginning of the season, everybody loves North Carolina right now, and they whooped North Carolina's ass. Everybody loves January, February Izzo. They whooped Izzo's ass, and don't forget, everybody loves Duke. The Duke basketball team is unbelievable. Kansas beat Duke as well. So again, was that a long time ago?
When
yes.
was that? Who cares? They beat them like 2021.
No, it was February or January or something like that. I'm sorry, November. But regardless, I'm just saying, like, this idea that Kansas is so bad, yet they're still 5.5-point favorites. Find somebody that's betting Kansas. It's just I'm just not there. Arkansas has been really good to me, really good to me. But at the same time, I just don't really like them here today. I think this is a Kansas spot.
Next. We got 6 games remaining. We're pretty much on schedule. Maybe like a minute behind, but we're pretty good.
First game's not till 12:15 anyway.
No, I know. We have an extra 10 minutes or so. Yale, Texas A&M. Scoop, I hope you're about to take Texas A&M. The amount of fake sharps flooding over to the Yale side, not realizing that the Ivy League and the SEC are a tad bit different in terms of competition.
Yale won last year. They beat Auburn last year.
Yes, that one fluke is just skewing everyone's decision. Are you kidding me? This is a blowout. Yale sucks.
Yeah, I mean, huge tournament win last year. Auburn first round. Yale up. Yeah, it's not happening here. A&M after this year is definitely they're gonna win this game. I think they win this game comfortably. Comfortably. I kind of agree with Kyle. I mean, I know after this year they're kind of rebuilding. This is pretty much an all senior team. They have a bunch of transferring freshmen. There's 8 seniors on this team. They're not going to have a bad game at all. Yale's a bunch of shooters from 3. I know that's an issue from A&M. They have pretty big problems guarding the perimeter. So I do see Yale kind of having an okay game, but they're not going to be able to guard down low on the other side. A&M's a huge team, not a great shooting team, but great in the post, great at the rim. Yale's biggest player is under 6'8". They're going to get out-rebounded. A&M's guards can drive to the hoop. They can score on the inside on Yale. A&M has to win this game on defense. They're going to press the three-point line. But I really think this is going to come down to the ability to get inside. Yale plus is a really popular upset here. I'm going to bank on A&M just being a more physical team. Yeah, they're not great shooters. I agree, but they're aggressive. They're the number 1 team in offensive rebounds, and it's not even close there. They're getting almost 17 a game. They're going to get a bunch of second and third chances on offense. I get the love for Yale. A&M's the same A&M that got bounced last year with bad field goal percentage and bad three-point defense. That's the only way Yale can win, with them hitting the threes. But I'll take A&M. I love them on the inside. I love that I really actually like that they got bounced last year early with pretty much the same team. So I'm going to take Texas A&M.
Toast, go ahead and give your bullshit Yale speech.
Just for the record, it's not like Texas A&M has a whole bunch of 7-footers. What do they have? One guy over 6'8" on their team? I just don't really put too much into that. But I just feel like the rebounding battle that everybody talks about is like extremely even. I mean, Yale's one of the better rebounding teams in this country. They also play a brand of basketball where they don't turn it over. They hit their free throws. I really like Yale in this spot. I think they match up extremely well with Texas A&M as far as rebounding is concerned. Yes, they play in the the Ivy League, but I mean, a lot of these guys, Townsend 6'7", Mebank 6'4", the Pukadukas kid, or however the hell you say his last name, is 6'6". I mean, Attanen 6'10". I mean, this team isn't like they're small. So, and again, it's not like Texas A&M is that big either. So I just feel like if you neutralize Texas A&M on the boards and be able to neutralize Wade Taylor, you're going to have a shot. And I do think that Yale can do that here today. So I did plus Yale plus 7.5. I also played Yale on the money line. I just don't really believe in Texas A&M personally.
Wrong. Next.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Drake Mizzou. Scoop, what are your thoughts on Drake?
The rapper? Or
what are your thoughts on all things Drake?
I mean, listen, when this game opened, I took this immediately when it opened, and now everybody and their mother is on Drake. Literally everybody. I don't know anyone that's betting Missouri. It's concerning. It's concerning. I have to admit. This isn't a shot at Missouri. I think Missouri had a great season, great 3-point shooting, great free throw shooting. But I think I love Drake. I think they're catching them right now. 2-5 to finish the year. Missouri didn't look good down the stretch. Starting five for Drake's one of the best scoring starting five in the country. And the big thing is, Drake has the perimeter defense to keep this one close. They're in the top 50. They hold teams at 31% from three. So even though Missouri shoots 36%, it should slow them down a bit. Drake also beat Miami, whatever. Vanderbilt, Kansas State. I know none of them are in the tournament. Vandy being Vandy is, but Vandy being the closest, I guess the best team. But they're still 3 out of conference wins. And I think the style of play for Drake, the way they play on offense, which is really playing the full shot clock, it may get Missouri out of rhythm. Drake actually has the slowest pace in all of college basketball. It's why they allow the second lowest points on defense, only 58 points a game. Toast knows these first-round games, even the good offense, take a while to get going, which hasn't happened in the first 4. But I think Drake's defense and the slow pace should keep them in this game the entire game. I know Drake's undersized, but Missouri's not a huge team themselves. I'm taking Drake. Their defense on the perimeter has been good all year. Even if everyone's on them, I think they can win this game.
Toast?
Drake for me. I've been telling you guys all year that Missouri sucks. They had a really good first couple months, and then we saw as soon as the month of February hit, they folded like a lawn chair because they stink. Dennis Gates isn't a very good coach, and now they're going to face a Drake team that's going to slow this game down to an absolute crawl, a situation that Missouri absolutely hates. Missouri gets a lot of fast break points. And points off of turnovers. Drake is one of those teams that you're definitely not going to do that just because of the style that they play in. I love Drake here today. I think Missouri is one of the most overrated teams in the country. And I've been saying that for a while.
I mean, I don't really know Drake well enough to talk shit. I'm down to talk shit about Yale, but not Drake.
I think Missouri had a couple really good home games that a lot of people bet on and saw, and that's carried them and their love affair with them through the month of February, because the month of February they've been absolute dog piss.
Yeah, dog piss is a pretty good comparison. Solid metaphor there on the dog piss. Utah State, UCLA. I mean, I feel like betting this game comes down to one thing. Do you believe in the lore that UCLA cannot win outside of the Pacific time zone? Because I believe they're 2-7 outside of the Pacific time zone. They can't make it out here on the East Coast or the Midwest. It's just they're not built for it. Maybe there's something in the air. Maybe it's the sea level, the elevation. I don't know why. Team sucks though. Utah State.
Team sucks though.
I'll just go really quickly. I took Utah State as well, +5, and on the money line. Going to continue to fade UCLA outside the West Coast. Not to mention the fact that I don't really worry about the UCLA zone or anything of that nature against a Utah State offense that's proven that they can score. So we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe I know a couple people that I respect a lot that's not on Twitter or anything like that, but are on UCLA. And they have a couple good reasons for it, but I just don't really see it. So you're kind of banking on, if you're betting on UCLA, you're banking on that Mick Cronin has a plan to shut this offense down, and I'm just not really sure. I think that Jared Calhoun doesn't really get a lot of credit. I mean, he's only been at Utah State. This is his first year at Utah State after coming over from Youngstown, and he's been really, really good. I think that people are kind of taking too much into the account that they lost on the road to New Mexico, on the road to Boise State, and Colorado State twice. Colorado State's one of the hottest teams in the country. The Boise game, just throw it away, and most teams in the country aren't going to go in and beat New Mexico in the pit. Just in general. So I just don't really I think that people are kind of overestimating how bad Utah State's been playing down the stretch. I think they've been playing better than their record shows.
Both Trevor and Moneyline Mac are on UCLA here. So in terms of people on the other side, some people are not scared of the Pacific time zone voodoo. What about Scoop? Yeah. Are you scared of the Pacific time zone voodoo?
I am scared of the Pacific time zone voodoo. UCLA's been a weird team. Got yelled at by their coach publicly. That 4-game losing streak backed it up and it looked pretty. But then they backed it up and won a bunch, and then they looked average down the stretch again, going 4-3 at the end of the year and getting trounced by Wisconsin easily in the tournament. The thing with the Mountain West is they don't do well historically in the tournament, especially the first round. I think they're kind of a bias against them. But I do like this Utah State team. They're plucky. They're bold. Offensively, they can hang with anyone, and I know UCLA has been a great defensive team. They've shown it for the majority of the year. The problem with them is inconsistency. Some games they look great, and sometimes they just look disinterested. So I know Utah State, top 25 offense, top 25 effective field goal percentage. Even though UCLA does a great job of keeping people out of the paint, it's going to be hard to turn away Auburn. Utah State has a garbage defense, true, but UCLA doesn't exactly have great shooters, and they're in the bottom 50 in terms of rebounding. I know Utah State's been a bit off, but they're a big team. They score a ton. They have a deep bench. And like I said, UCLA is just too erratic, and I think it's going to have a problem with the Aggies on the board. UCLA might win, but 5.5 is a lot to me, so I'm going to take Utah State.
Next up, Omaha. Omaha against the John.
I thought that was so funny. I
think it's Eli Manning is Omaha.
Peyton.
No, it's Peyton in Denver.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm 1,000% positive.
You guys would be the type of tools to remember that.
Yeah, 1,000%.
I watched the
Peyton's
what
Places.
is it? NFL? I don't even know.
None of them are as cool as Prescott's. Here we go.
I know somebody who's really into that.
Omaha versus the Johnnies.
So stupid.
There's a lot of sharp college basketball people saying things like Johnnies are going to go cold. Wrong. They've been saying that for a month.
When have they ever been hot?
I don't know. The whole season.
Oh, you mean like just in general? I
Bro,
thought you meant offensively.
I
thought you meant offensively. I'm sorry.
Every single game, the narrative with St. John's changes from you people. It's first. It's like
I've maintained they're terrible for the whole year.
First, it was like, oh, it's just a hot start. Like it's not sustainable. Then it was, oh, they're going to drop out of the Big East tournament. They don't care about the Big East tournament. Now it's they only cared about the Big East tournament. They're going to lose. They're going to be an early exit. Just keep doubting the Johnnies. Go ahead. Scoop, tell them.
I'm going Johnnies here. Omaha has had a great run, but Johnnies weren't getting any love all year, like Kyle said, probably because of their offense and the way they start these games are rough. But yeah, I'm not betting against Rick Pitino in his first St. John's appearance in the tournament. This defense leads a ton of defensive metrics. I know Omaha has done great offensively, a top 75 in field goal percentage, but that's the summit. Last time they played a defense like St. John's, which was Iowa State, they lost by 31. And St. John's has been a better defense than Iowa State all year. I know the Johnnies don't have the offense Iowa State has, but team's going to bully Omaha down low. I wouldn't be surprised if they got out-rebounded by close to 20. In quad 1 and 2 games, Omaha's 0-7. It's their first tournament. I don't think it's going to be pretty facing a St. John's team. I know St. John's primarily takes 2-point shots, and now they play against an Omaha defense that's 283rd in opponent 2-point field goal percentage. They allow 54% down low. It's actually the worst in the tournament as a 2-point defense is Omaha. It's just not the matchup Omaha needs in the first round. They needed to face an offense-first type of team like them, ones that shoot threes. I think St. John's just kills them defensively and gets easy shots on the inside, so I'm going with St. John's.
Toast?
You can put up Omaha for me. I didn't bet this game, but I do stand pat that St. John's isn't going to make it that far in this tournament.
You didn't bet this, though.
No, I didn't.
So you're not standing on business.
No, I'm not standing on business. I think Trevor did Omaha first half because of the Johnny's slow starts. If anybody's looking for somebody like Trevor,
I wouldn't tell that.
You could double chance it. Do some Omaha first half, St. John's full total. What's that pay?
Michigan minus
I'm
2.
tell me. I want to bet it actually.
This is one of the ones. There were 2 games that I left off my 14-leg, 12-pick round robin.
Way to go!
There were 2 games, so I picked in my.
What'd you bet that? Like $5?
189.
There you go.
Well, I did a 12-pick round robin. So essentially,
you did a round robin. I thought you did.
So essentially, that's like it's like 91 $2 bets or something. But yeah, so I need to hit 12. I need to go 12 for 14, and this game and the Arkansas-Kansas game were the 2 I left off. So I think this is coin flippy as hell. I'm putting the Tritons up, but I mean, to be honest, I'm listening. Scoop, what do you think?
Yeah, probably the biggest upset here as I see. Well, it was San Diego beating Michigan, and now everyone's on Michigan. I bet Michigan. They're only getting 2.5. I mean, giving 2.5. I think Michigan's playing above their weight class lately. Sure, I think they're rolling at the right time. I'm going to take them. UC San Diego has been awesome. I think Michigan's getting a bit disrespected here. 2.5-point favorites is a bit wild to me. Even a 5 seed seems pretty low for Michigan. They had the fourth I told you yesterday, they had the fourth most quad wins in college basketball. I see a reason to pick San Diego. Obviously, I know why. They're awesome on defense. Their forced turnovers were in the top 10, which is the key to winning this. I know Michigan does a terrible job at protecting the ball. But Danny Wolf, Golden, give them a top 10 shooting percentage inside the arc, top 25 interior defense. The problem is UC San Diego hasn't played a top 50 team all year. I think the size of Michigan down low is going to give them problems. They're going to dominate the paint. Jones is fun for San Diego. Tate Jones, best player on their team, gets to the paint and scores. But I think Reuben Jones, has a good chance to lock him down. The bigs aren't going to allow easy baskets for UC San Diego. They haven't had a team. They haven't played a team that has obviously 2 7-footers in the way. Like I said, very trendy pick, including it's a 12 seed coming to upset someone. But I think Michigan wins this one and covers.
Toast, Trevor in the comments has now switched back to Michigan again.
Oh my God.
For those of you that haven't been following, Trevor, his first time speaking about the first round, said, I was originally on Michigan, but I've switched over to UC San Diego. That was on Tuesday night on his own goddamn show. Said, I was on Michigan, but I've switched over to San Diego. No. He said, I was on San Diego, but I switched over to Michigan. Then he came on our show and said, guys, I don't like Michigan anymore. I've switched back over to San Diego. That's what he said on our show last night. Now he's in the comments saying, final answer, Michigan. That is 2.5. So Trevor, in 36 hours, has publicly, he didn't privately change his mind. He's declared publicly that he's changed his mind on this game for the 3rd time in 36 hours. What an absolute freak. Toast.
Michigan did really well for me in the Big Ten championship game. As a matter of fact, the whole tournament. But I don't really like them here today. I get that UC San Diego hasn't played a team like Michigan or anything of that nature, but the fact of the matter is UC San Diego is the number 1 team in the country as far as turnover margin, and Michigan State, as we know, is one of the worst teams as far as turning the ball over. So, yes, Michigan has a huge size advantage, and the 7-footers should give UC San Diego some issues there. But I think that the turnovers is what's going to kill them here, and I did have a hard time believing that Michigan gets in a rhythm here today. So you can put UC San Diego up. This is like one of the games I didn't bet either. I really wanted to play UC San Diego. I was kind of worried that it was going to be a heavy public dog. And then you see all the sides saying that Michigan's one of the most bet teams. I don't really put too much stock into that. I think this is going to be a fantastic game, but UC San Diego for me.
All right. Last game up. And then, yes, I am going to do a community parlay real quick for those of you that want to hang out for 5 minutes.
Nebraska first half, St. John's total, final, plus 540.
What?
Touche.
You mean Omaha?
Yeah. What did I say, Nebraska?
Yeah. I mean, they are University of Nebraska, Omaha, but they're just known as Omaha.
Omaha!
Exactly.
There we go!
So Trevor in the comments is now saying he's on San Diego. Apparently, when he switched to Michigan, he's claiming it was a type. Dude, he is... How many beers and how many buckets?
Jesus Christ, Trevor.
How deep are you into that bucket? Yeah, dude, he's deep into the bucket already. UNC Wilmington, Texas Tech. I got the Seahawks winning this one outright, and it's in my 12-pick round robin 14 leg. Boom. Texas Tech is a mess. Toast is about to tell you Texas Tech, though. Scoop, what do you think?
First, I need to know about the injuries to Texas Tech. If someone can look that up.
They're playing. The kid Williams is playing.
I like Tech here. I'm really high on Tech when nobody else seems to be. JP
Toast loves Tech. Awesome. He's jerking Tech off.
Well, I'm good for him. If he wants to jerk Tech off, let him jerk him off. It's 2025. You can jerk whoever you want off. I like them at New Mexico. I like JT Toppin here. Think they're going to rain threes. They've done it all year this season. Definitely going to do it against UNC Wilmington. Wilmington was okay defending the three. I think they were giving up like 33% a game. The issue with Tech is their health. Obviously, they always seem to be hurt. Toppin was sick last game. Darian Williams, Chance McMillian didn't play against Arizona. If they're shorthanded again and missing their second and third scoring options, then yeah, I completely agree, actually, with Wilmington could cover the spread. But if everyone's playing, even with Wilmington's okay perimeter defense, they're still allowed a ton of threes. Almost 40% of their shots, almost 40% of their opponents' points came from three. That's not good against Tech. On the other side, Wilmington is kind of the same. They're good from three. They rode the conference tournament on the three ball, but Tech had the best defensive 3-point percentage in the Big 12. Not to mention, as good as UNC Wilmington's offensive rebounding is, Tech was the best defensive rebounding team in the Big 12 as well. I think Tech is actually a complete team. They have three extremely solid scorers. If they all suit up and healthy, I think Wilmington should lose by 20+.
Toast is about to say the same shit.
Yeah, I just don't see it with Wilmington. That's all. Like, it's not. I'm not. Yeah, I just think that Texas Tech is one of the most complete teams in the country. I don't see it.
I do see it with Wilmington.
I can't find an angle. I can't. The one thing that they do as well is play offense, and there's no question about that. But their defense is suspect. They can't hit a 3-ball. I don't know. I'm just not there.
When I look at this UNC Wilmington team, I see tenacity. I see camaraderie.
Courageous, scrappy, fiery.
I see great. I say great teamwork. I see good leadership.
Self-assertive.
Shit.
I'm pretty sure Sauce saw them lose to Hampton, and then they haven't lost since. And Sauce has been on ever since.
Look, I'm a Wilmington Seahawks guy. I've been big on them all year. Been real big fan of that conference that I forget the name of.
The CAA.
I've been a big CAA guy. All right, let's run the community parlay. Louisville,
really peppy team.
Purdue money line. Wisconsin.
Running out of words.
Yeah, dude, I have a bunch when I get in the groove. I could give a whole speech about a team and where someone's listening, like, damn, like he really likes this pick, and I have no idea who's on the team. Never watched them play. Just use words like that, like just great leadership, inside out, top to bottom.
Inside out, top to bottom.
Cast your votes. Cast your votes. What's the first leg of the community parlay? I don't know if we're gonna do a midnight show, by the way, because Trevor, not it's just me and Toast.
It would be funny with Trevor.
Oh, it wouldn't.
No, Trevor's not. He's not doing it. He
Well, I'm saying do it from the bar or something, like just.
Bro.
So
How many? He switches his pick every 5 minutes sober.
You guys cracking a beer before 1? I might have some red wine to watch this first game.
Oh, I got an NBA show at 4.
I haven't cracked
maybe some seltzers. Have a high noon.
Louisville money line.
I will get high at noon though. Yes, I'm with you on that.
I will get high at noon. He said I will get high at noon. All right, let's see. Oh, damn it. Hold on.
Red wine is good. It's good for you, man. It's good for your heart.
Yeah, I heard that actually. Amari Stoudemire used to take wines or bath in red wines.
What?
Yeah, I swear to God.
How do you know things like that?
Does it help your skin?
Who would ever want to know that?
I'm not even going to tell you why.
I prefer you didn't.
Oh, just don't look at his search history. You'll be fine.
No, it's because I wanted to watch with me and my wife watched there's a new Netflix show about wives and stuff, and his wife or ex-wife is on the show.
Sounds really sweet.
It was.
Yeah, it sounds dope. Pissed I missed it.
New Temptation Island on Netflix, by the way.
I know. I just got to watch the Love Is Blind reunion, and then I can get to the next show.
Who the fuck are you guys?
Also, wine's pussy. Who the fuck? Who are you? Wine is pussy drink. Fuck, wine's amazing. Wine's Italian.
I didn't say that.
No, the comments.
Comment.
Oh no,
I love wine. I'll drink wine every
right.
night. I don't give a shit.
Wine's all, yeah. Wine's
I have to drink beer. I'm a man. I gotta drink beer.
No wine.
Lights.
Give me some shots.
I prefer wine. I prefer to drink motor oil. We got Gonzaga. Gonzaga is in the community parlay.
Dogs.
Love it. Now I might tail, actually.
All right, let's see what the.
I actually am going to Beer Fest next weekend. So. In Atlantic City. Of course you are. It's in Atlantic City. I'm gonna go play poker while I'm at it.
Why are all these different sizes on every single? That's annoying. All right, so third leg of the community parlay. We got.
I do love Bloody Marys too, actually.
My dad I had alcohol for the first time in a while at my sister's wedding. My dad got a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle or something like that. It was pretty tasty. Waste of money, but pretty tasty.
And then Missouri or Drake. They like Drake.
Adrian, oh my God, wine is good. All right. Do some of my cat impression.
Cast your votes. What's the third leg of the community parlay? Someone said Pappy's the good stuff, Toast.
Yeah.
Oh, betting league. We're doing a 2-week-long betting league, $300 cash to the winner. You have 11 minutes to submit. So if you're getting in on that, go submit your picks in the betting league right now. The third leg is, I believe it was Tennessee. Tennessee money line. And the last leg will be, oh my God, this is annoying.
I didn't stop drinking. I was never a big drinker in the first place. So I've been a pot smoker for
I don't
very,
drink very often anymore either.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Honestly, I just don't know. I just don't like how it makes me feel. Like, honestly, I don't.
Well, it's just for me, dude, I can't. If I drink all day playing golf with my friends, the entire next day is ruined. Like, I just can't do it anymore.
I drink wine with my wife almost every night.
It shows.
I mean, it's good for you, actually. That Tennessee money line is really, really helpful on this one.
Yeah.
Minus 2,800.
Shit, I better put these in a little spread thing. So.
All right, what's the last leg of the community parlay?
You did it, Scoop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cast your votes.
That's another.
Someone said I'd rather be high than drunk any day. Yeah, it's a personal preference. I don't really smoke either.
I was going to say, yeah, Kyle doesn't even smoke weed.
You know what my vice is? I'm addicted to views.
Oh, yeah.
I love that was my video editing, and then people watching the video and liking it. That's my addiction. I love it. I can't get enough of it. For the first time I edited a video, posted it on Facebook, and people were like, "Oh, dude, this is cool."
Yeah, that's a cool feeling.
Hooked. I did a promo video for my halfway house that I was living in. They did like a barbecue fundraiser thing, and I edited the video and I put it on, and everyone commented like, "This video is so cool," and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is what I want to do."
Kyle's round robin's in the Discord, by the way.
Oh yeah, the round robin you asked about, it's posted. I'll post it again. You got 8 minutes.
And I don't.
It's
smoke.
not a good bet. It's like
no, it's not a good bet at all.
you
I
shouldn't.
just do gummies. I don't really do anything else.
The community parlay is Louisville, Gonzaga, Gonzaga, Tennessee moneyline St. John's, Louisville, Gonzaga, Tennessee, St. John's. That's not going to pay much.
Plus 126.
Oh my God.
Community.
Well, I mean, St. John's and
Figure it out, guys.
Wait, really quick. St. John's and Tennessee added. It was plus 110 without them.
Oh my.
So if you just did Gonzaga and Louisville, it would be plus 110. So do that with what you will.
Everyone, have a great day. Happy March Madness. For those of you that want to bet some NBA, I'm red hot.
Actually, Kyle is plus 13.5 units since March 10th in basketball and NBA.
Yeah, I'm on a rampage right now. Almost swept the board. I think I went 6-1 last night. So yeah, we'll be talking about that at 4 p.m. I think. And yeah, everyone have a good one. Bet responsibly and all that. Later.
Are we doing any